Welcome to another episode of The Epic Family Road Trip. On this episode, we leave Kelowna and drive up the beautiful Okanagan Valley to Kamloops. Now we have family there, Jordy and Carla and their beautiful children, and we had such a wonderful evening with them.
Hi everyone on the channel.
You'll be on our next video. Sorry.
And you can let us stay up
And maybe in our world here, there lives a happy little mountain.
Indian food, can't beat it. That might be the best.
What kind of ice cream did you get? Moon mist?
Thank you. Holy cow, that's huge.
Let's see. That was on top.
After leaving Kamloops, we drove up through the beautiful Mount Robson Park and ended up in Jasper, Alberta. Pulled into a rest stop to rest and to check out the big river. It's really high this year because they had so much snow in the mountains, and then it was cold until late spring, and then it got hot right away, and everything melted really quickly. So there's flat, like the banks are full here, but all the way down in Kelowna or in Kamloops, the river downtown in the city is actually flooding its banks. When we arrived in Jasper National Park, we found a beautiful camp spot. We took up our mountain bikes and rode into the village of Jasper to do some exploring. When we got back to our camp spot, we noticed that in the forest there was a mother elk who had recently given birth. And we got the camera and tried not to disturb them, but I think that baby elk was taking its first steps. Bobcat just walked right through our camp. I didn't get a very good shot of it, but hopefully this will show. Next, we got up early and began the beautiful drive from Jasper to Banff National Park. This is called the Columbia Icefields Parkway, and it is just spectacular. If you've never done it, this is going to be a real treat. If you have done it, I think this will bring back a lot of amazing memories. Thompson became the greatest land geographer of all time. From 1972 to 1812, Thompson traveled over 90,000 kilometers by canoe. We just put 90,000 kilometers on our RV after going around North America about 5 times. How and Lindsay do it? Dog sled, horse, snowshoe, mapped 3.9 million square kilometers of North America. Along the way, he stitched together the Northwest with rivers, highways, and documented the cultures of Aboriginal peoples he encountered. I think this same guy, I took a picture of a sign in Bend, and he went through past the Three Sisters in Oregon.
Look, forests, where all the areas down in the States.
So he went right through Bend, Oregon.
We stopped at a viewpoint where I jumped on my dad's shoulders and took a photo. This time around we stopped at that exact same spot and recreated the photo.
The only difference is he's about 2.5 feet taller. But it was fun recreating the same photo, and I think maybe if we go back 2.5 years from now, I'll jump on his shoulders.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Create 2 years.
I think you were standing kind of by that rock.
Don't fall off.
Came to this lake, Cove Lake, in July or 2 years ago, and it was all melted. But look at it now; it's still frozen. That's how high up in the elevations we are. This is truly one of those spectacular lakes you have to stop at.
It's been beauty.
That would be it. It's been beauty. Oh, look at that, guy. On this road is almost, if it's possible, scenery overload. There is, around every corner there's a new mountain with a glacier, with a bright blue lake. It's just unbelievable. No, Phil Murphy.
Totally natural.
Did a real one.
No, just Pete goes.
Here, son. Look at me. Look at me.
He goes like he needs.
After an absolutely breathtaking drive down the Columbia Icefields Parkway, where there's mountains and glaciers and forests and lakes that are so pretty they almost look fake. Wildlife, just an incredible drive. We're now back on the Highway 1, the Trans-Canada Highway, and we're about 30 minutes from the beautiful town of Banff, which is nestled in the same Rocky Mountains. We're looking forward to getting there and finding a place to eat and find some delicious local food. You'll notice on Highway 1, Trans-Canada Highways, you're coming into Calgary, or not Calgary, into Banff. there's all these bridges, and they're actually animal crossings. They're very wide, and they have trees and grass and natural setting up there so that the animals can cross, and then they put high fence on either side. So this area is so well known for large grizzly bears, black bears, moose, elk, deer, and by doing this they've been able to eliminate all traffic accidents with animals. So very innovative, and I think a great idea. After that spectacular drive on the Columbia Icefields Highway, we continued on into the village of Banff. Now there's a campground there called Tunnel Mountain, which is run by the Banff National Park, and it is a fun place to stay. We stayed there 2.5 years ago as well, and the views are incredible. And it's only a short drive into the village of Banff, so we unhitched our Jeep and drove down into the town to do some exploring, and again to get some delicious food.
We have been looking for you.
We've been looking for this since the last time we were here in Banff 2 years ago. We haven't found this exact brand anywhere, so we came back to the same store, and here it is.
We'll buy them out.
About 2.5 years ago to a place called the Campfire in Banff, and we just felt like trying it again. What did you get?
I got a burger.
Okay.
Big descriptive. It's called the Park Burger.
The next morning we got up early and went to Lake Louise. Now this is a world famous lake. We missed it on the first round 2.5 years ago, and so we are so excited to go and explore the absolutely stunning beauty of Lake Louise, Alberta. Good morning. This morning we are up early and leaving Banff for the day. We're leaving our motorhome there and taking the Jeep up to Lake Louise. Truly one of the most beautiful lakes in the world. Can't wait to show you the videos from this gorgeous place.
I cross your path and I smile until you go home. You go home.
So much louder.
Oh, fragile forest, shine fast your light and break me down. There's no one else inside. I find him in the quietest hour. Only here.
We've eaten in quite a few beautiful places around the world, but I have to say Lake Louise pretty much tops everything so far. I mean, it's hard to believe that we're in a mountain setting quite like this, with glaciers in the background and that crystal clear bright blue lake, and here we sit at a little restaurant. It's unbelievable.
I ask you, blow
guys, so right now we're here at Lake Louise in Banff National Park. This is our first time here at Lake Louise and it's just absolutely stunning. And now we were enjoying some ice cream. We already ate it, but it's a beautiful day. And we're so happy to be here.
in the calm of a morning.
So after chilling over by the waterfront, we decided to head on this trail that goes around the lake or across one side of the lake. We forget what the hike is actually called, but we were just going on it because it's such a beautiful looking hike.
Deep in these hills are where I intend to stay. I'll live in your moment.
So we've come out to this part on the trail where there's this amazing view across Lake Louise and there's a beautiful beach.
So fair the air with the thought of you.
If you're ever here at Lake Louise in Banff, we highly recommend you take some of the trails that go off and around the lake because they can take you to some of the most amazing places. Everywhere you look here, there's something absolutely incredible to see.
Next, we began the incredibly long drive east to Ontario, and we end this episode in Medicine Hat, Alberta. Drove all day from Banff this morning in western Alberta, right by the BC border pretty much, and we are now in Medicine Hat, Alberta, so we pretty much crossed the province today, and we're not that far from Saskatchewan, which we'll hit tomorrow morning. But we're in the it's called Gas City, Medicine Hat. I guess this is where they discovered natural gas, which is now they produce a lot of in this area. But this is called the Gas City Campground, and it's just a beautiful place. It's run by the city, the municipality here, and they have big, huge, luxurious campsites and fire pits and lots of shade from the sun, and then a really extensive bike path system. So hopefully we'll get time to take a bike ride. But if you're ever going through this part of Alberta, Medicine Hat, Alberta, wonderful little RV park run by the town. So yeah, we're moving pretty quick, heading east to be back in Ontario for doctor's appointments and other obligations that we have, a speaking engagement and a few other things. So we're kind of booking it east now. I just took the bike trail out here, just outside of the Gastown RV Park. There's a gorgeous little trail. It's a multi-use trail. It's paved, so cycling, walking, whatever. But yeah, it takes you through some of the beautiful rolling hills here, and up into the hills. Goes for a couple of kilometers. Definitely worth the try if you ever get out here to Medicine Hat, Alberta. Come and park for the night and then get your exercise in before driving on. We really hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We look forward to putting together another video for you next week, Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. Let us know if you have any questions or comments. We'd love to answer some of those and maybe even do a question and answer or Q&A video coming up soon about family travel or any other questions you might have. Thank you to our 16,000 subscribers. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we want to give you all kinds of content that's valuable to you. So let us know in the comments section what kind of videos are most valuable to you and your family. And in the meantime, we'll see you down the road.